Whoever looked at your life and thought there has to be more? Welcome to the Corporate Escapists podcast, where stories change lives. This is a space for bold women rewriting the rules, building businesses with soul, and choosing legacy over likes. If you're ready to be seen, heard, and valued, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I'm your host, Christine Innes. I am so delighted to have the most amazing Abdul joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm very excited. I just literally did a quick little video before and I'm like going, okay, so we met probably about 2-3 years ago through mutual people, but you're also one of our very first winners of the Inspire Awards, which like I just sort of like have a flashback going, oh my goodness, like how long that has been. But you know, obviously our journey, both of us, have changed over the last 2 years. So I'm really excited to share that with people because I know that a lot has gone on and you've just propelled even further, which is absolutely amazing.
I have. It's been a long journey. It's an exciting journey, and there's a lot of work ahead of us. So and the future is actually unfolding
Yeah.
as we speak
Yeah.
to greater new heights.
Yeah, amazing. Look, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself, and then we're going to just dive into some really beautiful conversation and,
Mm.
really inspire people today.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, my name's Abdul Rababeh. I originally from Sydney, Australia, of course, and I've been living here in Melbourne for the last 3 or 4 years or so. It was one of the most difficult decisions that I had to make at the time, and I have what 4 beautiful daughters that I love and I adore, and I basically, in a nutshell, which we can get to this later as well. I actually created a movement or a a supporting platform, the Resilience Project X, for men who are battling with life's toughest battles, whether it's divorce, whether it's addictions, in any area of life. So the sky is really, really the limit. So, fast forward today, it's been a little bit over 3 years since the invention of the Resilience Project. And as I was saying before, the future is unfolding as we speak. And we're going to places that shake the boat a little bit, but in a very positive and inspiring way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've got an adult son, and like sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes, you have these conversations, but the conversations that you're having with men, I think there's a little bit of a stigma. Oh, we can't talk about that. We're blokes, we just move on, we just get on with it. But like just like anybody, these are conversations that needed because the world is ever evolving as well. Like there's lots of changes. But if we're not starting to talk about it, we're really living in a lot of what I call like the shame and guilt sort of era as well. We just brush things under the carpet. So I give hats off to you. Like the conversations that you're having are so needed. But what's the changes that you're seeing in the men that you're working with? What's the biggest change that you see with them, like from when you first meet with them to afterwards?
Well, when I first meet with the majority of men I speak to, there is this feeling of, as you said, there's this feeling of guilt and shame. I call it the man ego. Yeah, we often prevent ourselves or avoid confrontational discussions, and these discussions are supposed to be friendly discussions because in particular men in this area, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be made to feel they are being challenged. They don't want to be made to feel uncomfortable. So therefore, they're always opting in to go for the easy option. So, I having those discussions with men, I remind them, sometimes the biggest breakthroughs it's not always the easy decisions. It is the difficult decisions because this is where the growth is. And that for them to make that transition to break that man ego, it's a incredible breakthrough. And this is basically the what I call the initial stages of growth, reinvention of oneself from the point when we begin to build self-awareness, consciousness. So breaking the patterns that they've been living with, and this is I would say the biggest eye opener for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you, like, obviously yourself, like, you see the ripple effect that it's not just, obviously they're doing the work, but the ripple effects expands. And I think this is the work that people don't actually see. It takes somebody so brave and courageous to go, no, you know what, I want to stand up. I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to break, habits, whatever we're talking about. But the fact is that it creates a beautiful ripple effect. It goes within their family, it goes within their community, even within their career as well. Are you starting to see that now with the work that you're doing, the ripple effect?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. It is a ripple effect because it's not always about the men themselves on an individual
Mm.
basis. It's also about the people around them. One of the biggest ripple effect that we find, and I've also personally have experienced, is their relationship, in particular with their children. How it strengthens with purpose, with direction, and it expands out. Not only relationships but also with finances, with purpose, their identity, their direction and purpose in life as well. And it's a beautiful journey that they go through. And once they break through that terror barrier, what we call the terror barrier, it's an incredible breakthrough for them. And especially men who have children, that is the biggest breakthrough I find that they actually experience, because they begin to attract them back into their lives because of the person, the individual that they are becoming internally. So we teach mental coach men is to align what they want to internalize, yeah. Also align with that with their behaviors and their action, because most men I speak to, they know and understand what it is they actually want, but it's not aligned with their behavior. It's not aligned with how they are living their life. So there is this gap of what we call the doing and knowing gap. You know what you want, but you don't do what it is that you know. And that's the gap that we're actually closing for them.
Yeah, I love that so much. Look, I must admit, like when I've gone on my journey, my son said to me quite a few years ago, I don't even know who you are anymore because you changed so much. And then it was a beautiful moment where I like, oh, well, you get to meet the real me. And I really feel like what you're doing is that the men are really starting to show like the true essence of who they are. And like you're saying, like they're calling back like the family to get to, it's sort of like a rebirth in a way when you think about it. Like, is that what you're experiencing with the men that you're working with?
Yes, yes, absolutely. There are many traits in men that have just pushed under the rug.
Mm,
Now we want to bring that to the surface. It's like, who are you? What's
yeah,
your purpose? What have you been avoiding all those years, all that time?
yeah,
So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It starts with internally programming certain traits, behaviors, belief systems, emotions, questioning the internal program that they never thought about questioning. So we just want to bring that to the surface and allow that again to allow that to become the ripple effect.
yeah, absolutely. What's it done to your relationships with your children?
Oh, I mean, when I first, I mean, I can go way back. I was internally, mentally, physically dismantled at one point because I did go through a marriage breakdown, and it did take a toll on me. Uh, the honest truth is, at one point, I didn't know who I was at any point.
Mm.
So when I began to do the work and to work on myself, they began to see the real me. And one point I want to share, and this is a common reality with men, is that sometimes we have to let go of the things that we are attached to. And when I learned to let go of certain aspects of my life, it actually strengthened my relationship with my children. It's actually strengthened more and by far compared to opposed to when we were actually living together. So strengthened bond, our relationship has grown, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What about communication? Because I think like that's the part that, we sort of take as a given, like in any type of relationship. But once you've gone on the journey and you're doing the internal work, which is the hardest work that you will ever have to do because you're confronting yourself with it. Have you found even your communication style has changed with how you're responding to people, but also how you're also processing the information coming to you as well?
Yeah, it's the internal dialogue, the
Mm.
language that really dictates the state that we're in, alpha state, beta state. Uh, so the language, the self-talk, when we communicate with ourselves or with others, as you know, whenever we are doing so, has a major effect on our ability, our internal programming. And the one language that men avoid, they just don't, like most men can't align with it, is the love language. Appreciate yourself,
Yeah.
love yourself, being grateful, not for what you don't have, because maybe perhaps what you want you don't need, but for what you do have, use with what you have and use that as a tool, as a resource to help you grow.
Mm. I'm all about gratitude at the moment. Like we've got our next book actually coming up, which is called A Grateful Life. And that's exactly what we talk about because, you can't attract more in your life unless you're grateful for what you have. And I think like both you and I, we've been through and we've hit complete rock bottom. We've lost everything, and it really does truly allow you to appreciate, you've got a bed to sleep in, your health, like all those moments. How has that then sort of transformed your life and what you are now attracting into your life?
I how has it changed my life? I'm no longer comparing my life today to how it was 10 years ago, for an instance. I'm not comparing my life with what I see how others are living their life. I am comparing myself only with myself and the version that I see myself becoming within the next 5, 10 plus years from now. So that version I manifest it in a way is that as if I am living the future me in the present time. And
Powerful. Like so
mhm,
many people don't take that into effect. They're always like, going, "Oh, we're going to the future self." And I mean, if you're not into woo woo, like the spirituality sort of stuff, it's just basically living your best version of yourself. But most people really think that you can never get there. Like you're constantly, maybe two steps away. But when you take a step back, like I just want people to really take that in because that is super powerful that so many people don't realize that you can actually already be in your highest timeline.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, if we don't have a compelling vision, and that's what people avoid because compelling vision often can actually strike you with confrontational. I cannot become that person. But that's the whole purpose of a compelling vision. It's the person that you want to become, but the vision itself, it needs to make you feel uncomfortable because the vision of your future self, if you're making yourself feel comfortable, most certainly you've been there and done it before. and it's obvious, is that it's not producing the results that you need into your life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be stuck where we are today. So a compelling vision, something that will definitely uh, excite you. At the same time, it might actually you might feel a little fear that because you fear of the unknown. That's good. That's great. I want you to feel that way. Guess what? That's where the growth is.
Yeah.
That's the missing link, and that's what we need to bridge. That's
Yeah.
the answer, the solution moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever have a moment where you sit there and it's like that aha, like the pennies drop sort of moment going, oh wow, like you're listening to the way you talk or the way that you're like embodying yourself and really have felt the change? Like, did you ever have one of those moments where you've really felt it?
All the time. All the time. This still happens to an L. One of my great mentors and early coaches, good friends now, once I still remember this, he said to me back in the early days, he said to me, Abdul, I promise you one thing. I hope you're listening though. I hope he's listening to this. He said that one day you're going to be looking back and you're going to need a telescope to see how far that you've come. That till now sticks to me. And I always have the aha moments every time. Considering, I'll share with you, is that I was never a extrovert. I grew up most of my life as an introvert. I was a very extreme introvert. I was hiding, pleasing other people, afraid to say no when I had to be said no. So, and then going through my life battles and building what I have built all the time, all the time. But for me, the biggest aha moment is that I've been able to rebuild myself after being at rock bottom. And then from that point, creating the Resilience Project. That for me is wow, because I could not accept myself to be average. I could never see that happening to me.
Yeah.
I had a higher purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in those moments when we hit rock bottom, that's where our purpose sometimes is shown to us. And, I always call it the feather, the rock, or the Mack truck that the universe will send us. And I know that you and I have both had the Mack truck like landed on us. What is the vision that you have for the Resilience Project?
Well, really want to change lives amongst struggling men, to give them a voice, to give them a platform, a
Mm,
place. Also to ensure that men who join, I like to call it in a way, it's almost like a movement, to be honest. Also to allow men to take responsibility. That's an entirely separate discussion, but it's all associated in one. Men sometimes lack in responsibility. Men have become fragile. It's time to step up. I want this to become a, I would say in a nutshell, a global impact. So I'm not only aiming nationally across Australia, but also all around the world.
yeah. And I know that you're going to do that. Like, I mean, you were just in Boston, like, last year, this year's gone too quickly, but you were, there sharing your message, which was absolutely amazing. But, I think, what we're forgetting is the power of people stories. And this is why, what you're doing is not only sharing, like, obviously the mission, but you also share parts of your story to show people as well that it is come from a lived experience. So you really are the testimony of what's possible.
Yes, I am. It's not only something I've learned through textbooks, training, coaching, being certified with a piece of paper. It's more than that. It's a lived experience, and it's a personal experience. It has a personal touch to it as well. I I was married for 17 plus years, 17, 18 years. When my marriage came breaking down to rock bottom, it hit me at a time when I kind of never expected it to happen. I could never have had back then aligned with myself, come to terms with it. I continued to fight for my family, for my marriage, for my kids. I found out that the harder I pushed, the harder I fought, the more it was taking out from me, the more broken mentally I was becoming, physically broken I was becoming. And sometimes, and this is why I say sometimes, we need to make the difficult decisions. So, past that point, there came a point when I was admitted to hospital. It was a very vicious, severe situation I was in. That night when I walked out, I made a promise to myself after questioning my purpose and direction. It's like, Abdul, who are you?
Mm.
Like, I looked to my left, I looked to my right. No one's here. What's your purpose? Who are you? I began to question myself. What am I even doing? That night when I walked out, I made a promise to myself is that I'm going to put myself first, not only for me, but also for my children. If I'm weak, if I cannot mentally and physically stand up for the man that I need to become for my children, for myself, it's, I will be losing my children. That night, everything changed. Now, it wasn't an overnight process journey. It was a healing journey I had to go through, which also led me to make the next most difficult decision at the time. And I made a decision, a choice is that I, I wanted to change my environment. So I only didn't move suburbs where I was residing in Sydney. I moved to a completely whole new state, a state where have no family or friends.
Yeah.
It was one of the most difficult decisions. I lost everything. I eventually went bankrupt. I lost all of my businesses up to that point. For the first time in many years, I returned back to the workforce as an employee after so many years. So being rock bottom, having nothing to live with except only with what I had, and I used what I had as a tool, as a resource, and I began to rebuild myself, to resurface myself above the surface. And sometime, short few couple of years later, that's when the idea of the Resilience Project was born. So that's a short version
Yeah.
of what I had to experience. And after years of self-development, professional development, I also question after you've been in the field of self-development for so many years, you need to use what you've learned. So I used the tools and the resources and rebuilt myself because I had to become an example. And finally one day it hit me, it clicked me. Because for so many years prior to my marriage breakdown, I wanted to do something with life coaching as an NLP coach. I had no idea in which direction with who I wanted to work with. The moment I healed myself, it hit me. The Resilience Project for men, struggling men, men who are battling with life struggles. So it all came together. I had to go through that for a greater purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at you now. Like, I've had the pleasure of watching over the last couple of years and seen this, it to me, it's not even just more of a project. It is really a movement that you're creating, and it is just growing by strength and strength. So I would love for you to share, how can people work with you? Like, what are the opportunities that these incredible men, when they get the opportunity to be in your presence?
How they can work with me? They can be in contact with me through my social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook. We're currently building in production of our website as well. So hopefully that will be up and live within the next couple or few months. just so that we can expand our reach. And I often say to men, hey, let's get on a chat. There's no pressure. Let's see if this is the right fit for you. And it's all about having those discussions.
Yeah.
If you're ready to change your life, we will hold your hand every step of the way. As long as you don't give up on yourself, I promise you one thing, we will never give up on you. It's always making that first decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to pop all the details below for your
Mm.
social reach out so people can get in touch with you. But, I'm a big fan. I really know that this is needed. And, I think what you're doing is truly amazing. And, it's a lived experience, which I absolutely love as well, is that you've been there, you basically get in the trenches with them as well. So, because you know what it's like with it. So I just want to say a massive congratulations. You're up for a couple of awards soon as well. So good luck in all of that.
Thank you.
And yeah, before we go, I'd love for you just to share a little bit about, what the business journey of you obviously doing the personal development work, how has that then changed in how you do business?
With my personal development,
Yeah,
I still go through personal development. It's a conscious decision. I'm
yeah,
always looking for growth, and the impact it's having on me, it's my growth, my reinvention, expanding myself,
yeah,
uh, with knowledge, with the tools and the resources, and I I also pass this down to my clients wherever I find it's actually relevant for them.
mm,
So it's helped me to grow not only as a man, as an individual, but it's firing and fueling the movement, the project, the resilience project.
yeah.
And that's going to continue on. I am not stopping. Uh,
No,
I am not stopping.
no,
And I know, it's, I'm going to probably shake the boat a little. Um, there are already some signs of that happening through the messaging or my DMs that I'll receive sometimes. And just want to make it clear to everyone is that we are working and supporting with genuine men, legitimate men who are good people who really want to make a change
yeah,
in their lives, transform their lives. So, so we are not, so we don't support the opposite of that. However, some may see it at absolutely not. Men who are fragile, men who need to take and step up, take responsibility, and to rebuild themselves with purpose and direction.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Before you go, there is four questions that we've been asking all of our guests this year.
Mhm.
It's just a little bit of a fun way just to sort of to get to know you personally.
Sure, sure.
Do you have a favorite motivational quote?
Do I have a favorite? Yes, I do. By Steve Jobs, is that you cannot join the dots looking forward. You can only join them looking backwards. I
Mm,
kind of paraphrase that, but yeah, it's one of his quotes,
yes, yes,
and
absolutely.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that quote.
yes, I love that. I love it. What about a book that you would suggest people to read?
I would say there's two. Uh, a hero on a journey, and there's also Think and Grow Rich was
Yes.
actually Think and Grow Rich was actually probably the first or one of the first books I was introduced to probably back in 2018 or 2019. And it's an absolute phenomenal of a book. It's life changing. It will change your perspective.
Yeah, I've got three copies of it. So yes. I have one kept in
I,
the car everywhere. Yeah.
my daughter, when a couple of few years ago now, when she graduated from year 12 HSC back in Sydney, alongside with other gifts, I also gifted her that book. I told her, you need to read this book,
Yeah.
take the lessons from this book. So,
Yeah.
yeah, That's number one on my list,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. What about an inspirational person that we should be following?
Ooh, inspirational person. Inspirational person. I'm going to have to say, because he was the first person that I was introduced, he was introduced to me prior to actually joining one of his coaching programs some years ago now, thinking into results. Uh, yeah, it's worth taking a look into, definitely. Bob
Or
Proctor,
Proctor?
he passed away.
Yeah,
Bob Proctor, yeah, he passed away. Ooh,
yeah.
but maybe it's been about 3 or 4 years now.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've just about finished that program myself. So it's an amazing program if anyone can do it. So
it is.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes. I knew that you would be following him when you said paradigms. I'm like, oh, he's my man. Yes, I know. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
I do, I do. I've learned many of my lessons through the great Bob Proctor. He's
Yeah.
such an amazing, amazing
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last question I have for you is who should we have on the podcast next?
Ooh, who should be having a podcast next? Uh, Great question. Great question. Well, just choose anyone? Because
Just
funny enough,
anybody.
my daughter was asking me if
Yeah.
my daughter this morning she was asking me if her and I could do a collaboration,
Yeah.
like a podcast style sort of thing. And she wants to, I think she wants to share uh I would say her journey that is associated with what I've been through, and share like how I've grown, how it's affected her, how she's grown, and what she's taken away from that. I don't know. Can I say my daughter? Because
Oh my
she
God.
was literally asking me this morning.
I would love to have
Yeah,
her on the show. I think that would be just such a beautiful way to show the transformation. Like, as I was saying, like the ripple effect. People don't understand the ripple
we
effect.
can.
Yes. Oh, please. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got my number.
yes,
Like, fix me.
yes, we can do that. And I will. I definitely will. And I suggest to look, maybe instead of doing it just one on one, I'll probably consider you know, I've got my contacts. Having a moderator or someone who could run it maybe on their platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can surely figure something out. It,
Let's
it,
do it.
the universe is aligning together.
I love it. I love it when the magic happens. I love it. I love it so much. Well,
Absolutely.
as I said, like I'm a big fan. I've just been so grateful for the last couple of years watching you and be able to take this movement, this project even further and help so many incredible men to really, empower themselves and, like I said, create that ripple effect. So, Abdul, thank you so much for everything that you do and for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. And for everyone who is watching this episode, we're going to pop all the details of how you can reach out to Adul. And, like for all the men who are listening, I really hope that you'd get some takeaways from that and just reach out, just have a conversation. He's an amazing, beautiful human being that, will literally just, give you 5 minutes. Like there's, I know that for a fact. So I'm just so grateful for you. So grateful for everyone who has watched the show today. And just to remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.